in the sand, the little routes. I mean, like, this is top tier game development. This is attention to detail. This is the deliciousness that we desire. Right there, that moment, sticky, icky, and I'm in love. I don't know how I'm going to survive this generation if all the top tier exclusives look this good. It's cross-gen, but you wouldn't know it. Next gen is here, and PS5, it is the place to play. I mean, this monster right here and this game, marvelous. I don't know what else to do except bow down to these graphic gorillas. Sony first party is almost unbeatable. Like, they, between the Naughty Dogs, Corey's God of War studio, Insomniac and their Spider-Man squad, and this team, I don't know how you beat them. Like, it's almost like you don't even compete. Horizon Forbidden West is why I love video games. Horizon Forbidden West is gorgeous. Horizon Forbidden West is adventurous, and Horizon Forbidden West is single player. The game looks absolutely remarkable, and I just want to give you guys my reaction, my impressions, and hear what you have to say. So make sure to leave a comment, hit that like button, and let's roll into it. It's a Ghost Robo OG special, as we're talking about a big video game. I thought Horizon 1 was really good. It blew me away when I first played it. I remember today was taking me right back to the beginning of 2017. I was out in Los Angeles at the preview event. Gorilla was there. Herman Hulst was there. The team was so excited to showcase and share their game, and I was like, yeah, you did it. Them robot dinosaurs were unlike anything I'd experienced. Now, open world games have gone many places since 2017, and so how could they take our expectations to similar heights, but 4 years later, because you couldn't just do the same thing. And they found the perfect thing to do it with. I think they picked the best showpiece scene they could have found. This beach, it's brilliant. I was talking to one of my friends, and he was saying, you know, what stood out about this wasn't just that it looked good, it was that it looked good with bright colors. So many games choose to showcase dark environments and moody lighting, and they evoke a sense of wonder and next gen via that whole aesthetic, right? Moody, dark, mysterious, eerie. And Horizon was like, hey, y'all like Little Mermaid? Let's go to the beach. This right here is Uncharted from a land forgotten. I was like, you know what? Aloy might actually just be Nathan Drake's daughter. Absolutely not true, but it's a wonderful world to invent in my head. And yet again, they have discovered a way to make a game look original and exciting. I think one of the coolest parts about Horizon Zero Dawn was that they took typical open world mechanics, typical open world tendencies, and made it feel exciting and fresh because of the robotic dinosaurs, because of the past, present, future fusion, because of the, hey, it's, you know, tribal, but it's also robotic. And they found a way to unify these different ideas to make something that was truly original and that you wanted to participate in. Here, they don't have the, like, whiz-bang, wow, robot dinos are brand new. It's Transformers, but quality. They have to innovate with their gameplay now, and that's what has me really excited, right? I mean, it looks stunning. It's like, oh, every moment is a jaw drop, and there's one scene in particular towards the end that just floored me. My favorite moment is one of the smallest moments. It involves a grenade. But they're going to have to utilize their gameplay prowess and sort of their chops as Guerrilla Games to impress, as well as just doubling down on the world and expanding and extrapolating the world to a place that feels even more believable than ever before. I have no idea how Horizon Forbidden West is going to run on a PlayStation 4. How? It must look so much worse. This is like, you know, running on PS5, looking magical. I can't imagine what you do with a base PS4 to make this purr. And on one hand, it's like such a bummer that it's not next gen only, but at the same time, they were able to achieve this, and it's cross gen. How do you complain? How do you complain when you're grappling up to these ledges, these dinos are lurking, and then you instantly transition to an underwater scene? I think it's the best underwater I've ever seen. Underwater is very hard to do, and oh gosh, the guy is swimming. He's freaking lurking. All the animations, Some people tried to say that Sony doubling down on their AAA blockbuster franchises was a mistake, and I just laugh every time I remember that, and every time I read that. How is this a mistake? This is what happens when Sony doubles down on Naughty Dog and Santa Monica and Guerrilla. This is what we get. This is what happens. You get big games. This is what happens when they double down on Insomniac. You get Spider-Man, you get Miles Morales, you get Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, you get Horizon Forbidden West, you get God of War Ragnarok. You get The Last of Us 2. Like, how are you going to say that that is the wrong strategy? Jim Ryan took so much fire for this, and I know that a plethora of games is all the rage, right? Having something from every genre, having all of these indies. Sony will still have lots of other things. They'll still have all the third-party support, and they still have interesting titles like Kena and things of that sort. This is where I want their emphasis to be. These are the showpiece titles that you never forget. Moments when you emerge from the water and you're like, wow, this world. It's the Uncharted 4s, okay? It's The Last of Us. I'll even say it's the Days Gone. It deserves a little hype. It came out on PC and looking lovely. It's a visual feast. Hopefully it is a mental feast, and hopefully it's a hands feast. I'm imagining that bow is going to feel pretty sexy with the DualSense controller. They did not announce a release date, which I thought was odd. I figured they for sure would. We've gotten a lot of release dates as of late. Pokemon Legends coming out in January. Dying Light 2 in December. I feel that Horizon Forbidden West will release in 2021. I think they're probably just nailing down a month, or they're nailing down another title, and they want to spread them out. Because based on what I've heard and what I've been seeing, it seems like Sony does have a few games for the second half of 2021. PlayStation 5 titles. You know, we've heard the Final Fantasy Origins rumor, which is sort of the like Dark Souls Neo Final Fantasy fusion game with a little more accessibility, coming from Square Enix that leaked. We know obviously Ratchet is in a couple weeks. Horizon feels like it will be this year, and maybe they're just sorting out the plans. I expect us to get another State of Play maybe later on this summer. I don't think Sony feels tied to E3 at all. I think they kind of do their own thing. They have for a few years now. So probably like July, somewhere around there, maybe even August. I expect to hear a confirmed date for this game and more of Sony's plans for the second half. Because after Ratchet, and I guess Deathloop, we're not entirely sure. Ghostwire is slated for October. That needs a date. Horizon needs a date, and they need to flesh out if there's anything else, any surprises. And, you know, maybe tease a God of War Ragnarok. I think the PlayStation 5 is in such prime position. It's outselling the Xbox 2-1, and console wars aren't all that significant, but it does stand apart as a system that is powering forward with remarkable must-play exclusives. You could argue that Returnal is not that because of its niche focus, but Ratchet looks like it has an all-around appeal and has been getting universal praise. This game seems remarkable. Spider-Man Miles Morales was incredible even though it was short. What does Microsoft have? I know we're waiting on Halo Infinite, but how do you even compete with this? And seeing this today, I was reminded, like, this looks amazing. But God of War Ragnarok is also coming soon. There is a world, and a likely world, where these two games come out within 6 months of each other, and that is bananas. How do you even compete? Like, that's what I just keep thinking. If you're Microsoft, it must be so daunting. What do you do? Because the graphical power, the storytelling power, the world building, and then the gameplay, the characters, right? It might not be Mario, and it might not be Master Chief, but Sony has found a way to establish these franchises that we care about. They found a way to take interesting IP, develop them, and make them into franchises. Guerrilla took a risk and went away from Killzone. Sony allowed them or encouraged them or however that went down, and now we're left with this piece of work. I really hope that Microsoft and Xbox can take similar risks and not feel beholden to Forza, Gears, over and over and over again. Like, it's time for some fresh faces. It's time for some fresh fun. New IP and new series to dominate this generation. In the same way that back in the Xbox 360 era, we had Gears, and we had Bioshock, and we had Batman Arkham, and we had Mass Effect. Those games defined that time in gaming history. And what is going to do it if we just keep going with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? No, new games. And I know Horizon is also a sequel, but at least it's a 2. It's not a 5 or a 6, and I'm sure Sony will cook up something new as well. I'm so excited for this. It's very rare that I have a game that I'm like, it's on the calendar circled in like all different colored markers, and this is it for me. Resident Evil Village was phenomenal. This looks like it's going to be a contender for Game of the Year. I mean, it's just a tour de force in every way, and it's incredible when you do let developers do their best. And you know, obviously it takes talented devs to even achieve that, but I love games where the devs go to work. You know, it's not super you make your own fun. It's not a 100-player multiplayer. It is a single-player game with options, with flexibility, right? With modern sensibility, with a big open world that is, by all accounts, what modern players want. I also love that he's got the treads on his jaw. Freaking incredible design. The level of detail in these robots is just insane. But when they're allowed to be artists and guide you, when they're allowed to have a vision and establish it, and it's creative, right? It takes so much ingenuity to develop a world like this. And I love that this demo emphasized the brightness, the fun, and sort of the joyous vibrancy of their world. We know that this game centers around storms coming, and there's dark clouds, and there's big red lightning. But still, Horizon to me stands apart because it is a game that is it's embodied by a color palette that crosses the board. This is a lush game. This is a game filled with flora and fauna, and ferocious creatures as well. I mean, it's really quite remarkable. There's this moment where they throw this sticky grenade that just blew me away. The way that the sticky like webs and bands tie around the monster's feet, absolutely insane. This is a great moment as well. And I want you to pay attention to how his little house, his little tree house on top collapses. And I want you to pay attention to how when he busts through the rock wall right there, the decrepit wall, there is so many particle effects and so much physics stuff happening behind the scenes to really make it just absolutely work. Like that right there is all the different pieces disintegrate, destroy, and parts of it break off, and then they have to get more. I mean, even these attacks, firing these sort of like purple air electric beams through the sand. You can see the paths that they're establishing in the sand, the little routes. I mean, like, this is top tier game development. This is attention to detail. This is the deliciousness that we desire. Right there, that moment, sticky, icky, and I'm in love. I don't know how I'm going to survive this generation if all the top tier exclusives look this good. It's cross-gen, but you wouldn't know it. Next gen is here, and PS5, it is the place to play. I mean, this monster right here and this game, marvelous. It brings a smile to my face. Like, I'm so tough to please. I'm such a tricky gamer, and I just found this to be, I'm so glad that Sony does double down here. I'm so glad that they are focused here. I'm so glad that, they're not just trying to make everything games as service, everything free to play. They said they're going to go harder there. They talked to investors about they want to bring a lot of their franchises to the mobile space. They do want to have more games that are as services. We're going to get that. That's an inevitability. You're going to get that. That's part of the freaking gaming industry now, right there. Boom, shakalaka, and the walls come tumbling down. Yup. New weapons, new monsters, new areas, big story, bold gameplay, beautiful graphics. We're going to get that multiplayer stuff. Fortnite and the likes forever change the space. It wants to be a mainstream mass market, sell as many as you can, and flip the skins for $20. But I pray that companies stay true to visions like this. I pray that they focus dollars and dev time to establishing franchises, faces, and fun that we can remember. For me, these are the things that go in the piggy bank. You never forget your first time through BioShock. You never forget your first journey with Joel and Ellie. You never forget Nate Drake making that last leap of faith. Even Ethan Winters falling apart for the sake of his daughter. I hope Horizon Forbidden West has a moment or two like that can forever define my gaming journey. And I hope it can do the same for you. But thus far, bow down, Guerrilla. This is amazing, and I can't wait. I expect to get a date. I hope it's October, November, and it looks like we're going to see a Breath of the Wild 2 Horizon Zero Dawn, or Horizon Forbidden West showdown yet again. Round 2 after 2017. And, man, they threw the first punch. Game of the Year material. Yes, indeed. Let me know your take in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I hope you're all staying safe, staying healthy, staying happy, staying positive out there. Appreciate you watching and still supporting after all these years. Drink some hot chocolate, and until next time, we will see you all later.